Uncle Bob here again for Fly Fishing Mythbusters. Try to block the sun. It's getting a little later in the afternoon. I had a great day fishing the little lake. I met some people. They may be new subscribers. But I'm reflecting that I've done everything I need to at that little lake. I showed you the fish I catch. I showed you how I catch it. Nice scenery. And some stories and jokes. So I think we're done with that. That's in the archives, I guess is what you'd say. But I started a story, and it's kind of an important story that I have to tell to somebody. And I also posted on one of my videos today a short story called Big Two-Hearted River by Hemingway. And I just listened to it. And it's going to help me that I just listened to it, because now I'm going to tell you my story. And it's a story about the White River. The White River, and I don't need these, the White River runs through central Indiana, and really in the heart of what's now called the Rust Belt. All the automotive companies, not the big ones, not the Detroits, but all the little, they make other stuff. And right upstream from the house that I lived in, and this is when I'm a boy, was Delco Remy and Guide Lamp upstream. So, knowing what I know now, I'm a chemist, retired. Of course, I'd never have eaten those fish. It wasn't a clean river. But I had a paper route. My father was an editor at the newspaper, and at 2 a.m, because it was a daily paper and it had to get put together in the middle of the night, he'd bring home a stack of 10 papers that had come off the presses early, and I added extra clients to my paper route, and if I hadn't have done that, I never would have made any money, and any money I made I put in the pinball machines at the malt shop. Anyway, I'd get done with my paper route, and I'd go to the, on top of the river, and the river runs down, and it wouldn't be very light, but I could see in different spots along the river, not too many, groups of maybe 3 or 4 black men in each one. And there was just enough light to see that there'd be this torpedo shooting around on the river, and a big carp had been caught. And, that's what I wanted to do. So I wasn't supposed to go down there in the dark, but I just couldn't contain myself. And so very politely, I'd approach these little groups and sit down. I wouldn't bring any fishing equipment, and they'd talk to me, and I would listen patiently and maybe ask a question. And so I saw the rigging and big treble hooks, and on the end of it for the weight was a spark plug. And that comes into play in a little while, because they asked me, can you pick up the spark plugs? And sure, I could pick up the spark plugs. But the magic moment was when they take out this tin foil and reach in, and there was this golden stuff. It was like Willy Wonka to me. And they pack it around that treble hook, and they toss it out into the river. And after a time, and it wasn't on the first visit, believe me, one guy said, "I'm going to show you my secret carp dough." And then he explained that you take a can of creamed corn, fill that and put it in a saucepan, fill that with water, pour that in the saucepan, and then take about an equal amount of cornmeal after it started boiling, never before. Gets way too lumpy. And boil it for a while. till it gets really thick. Let it cool, put it in the foil. And of course, that's what I did as soon as I could. And it was funny because my sisters and brothers, and I have 6 sisters and a brother, would wake up to this corn smell everywhere. Just everywhere. Of course, I was long gone. And I did catch a lot of big carp. And I showed my buddies how to do it. And pretty soon we were all down there, mixed in with the black guys. And to me, that's my big two-hearted river. I don't know that we've come a long way, really. Especially the carp. The carp are still something you don't eat. Although Asian people, whatever. Okay, Eastern European. So that's my story about the White River. That was my first fishing experience. That was my first time catching carp. I caught a lot of carp. They were big. And it's just kind of funny, nostalgic, looping around, right? That now I'm catching carp again after probably 40 years of being focused on nothing but trout. So, for you guys who know Grandpa and Little Billy, I'm both Grandpa and Little Billy in that song, or in that story. I'm the old guy that knows the secrets and the young kid that needs to know what they are. Bye-bye.